So my higher self showed me how much I was splitting my energy by running different YouTube channels. So I'm consolidating. I'll be uploading the videos from my human consciousness channel onto the Inspiring Life. And so this will go on both. If you are watching this on the human consciousness channel, I'll put a link in the description for the other channel, which when we're splitting our attention and our focus in multiple areas, we're actually putting our energy into different things. So I was shown that it's best for me to put all of my energy into the one thing, and it's also very relevant on vibration, law of attraction, because people will energetically be either attracted or repelled to my energy. So the content isn't always necessarily that relevant. It's some people will just come just purely because of the frequency that I maintain, which will help them to balance their own energy, to help them remember to find their center. And then there'll be some people who obviously come for different reasons, like for the dot work or meditation videos or information about raising our vibration and becoming more more consciously aware, and also more of a connection to one's own higher self. So it's gonna be just everything in one place. So obviously for people who only want to watch one thing, like, and that's the thing I've learned from what I consume online, is only watch what I want to watch, even if people have different kinds of videos. So people can just watch the videos that they actually enjoy or are drawn towards, but there are never any coincidences. Everything is just alignment. And even when we're in resistance, we're still in alignment within the resistance. So the resistance is there to teach, which is something that I've really learned throughout life, is I'm always the student and I'm always the teacher, because every experience is always teaching me something. It's just up to me if I'm allowing myself to see the lesson and the reflection within different experiences and interacting with people more consciously, being more consciously aware of my own energy, which, my late godmother, she channeled an incredible healing modality, but she brought to my awareness the other day that the things that she was channeling were relevant at that time, and depending on what timelines people are in, obviously that would still be relevant for them, if anyone's still using those things. But it gets to a point where you have such a connection with your higher self that those things are eventually irrelevant. And so part of my journey was the things that I did actually get, taught in the physical. I either outgrew them before I even did them. I remember when I did some particular courses, and I was like, well, I've already been doing this before I've even heard it spoken about, and I didn't really feel like I got much out of some of the things. So part of that was learning to just trust my own inner guidance system and not give my power away to things that I already knew. And most of that she channeled, I had looked at some of her workbooks and things, and when I did, I didn't understand them, and I haven't looked at them since, but I can recall looking at them and what I was seeing, which is funny because just following my inner guidance system and allowing her to teach me things from the other side of the veil, I've already surpassed what she was channeling back then, because a lot of the things I didn't realize I was doing, but in a different way. And that was for her, anyone who listens to Abraham Hicks, that was her path of least resistance. And even in the way that she was bringing information through was different than how I bring information through, because I've learnt a lot of different ways that I can connect to my higher self, and anything in the non-physical and anything in the physical too, because we can consciously connect to anything in the physical, including, one of the things I didn't realize I'd been doing my entire life was connecting to plants. And I could always just look at a plant and understand what it needed when I was only looking at things from the 3D, but now I could just energetically put an energetic frequency through the plant, which would then have the same impact as putting different physical nutrients in it. It's because everything is energy, and it's what these creations have actually taught me, is everything is energy, and the energy that I put into them is what makes them so unique. Even if I was to paint the same exact design with the exact same colors, like if I just painted a plain black and white stone and did the same pattern and design on both of them, if I put different energies in them, they would look the same, but they would feel completely different. And so that's what I've learned now, is to just, the more I focus on the energy, the more the physical things aren't as relevant. Because when we're focused only on the physical and not the energy, it's a slower process to the same outcome. Like I mentioned in some of the previous videos on the Human Conscious channel, the more I treated the root cause, I was initially treating them physically, and then I started to treat them energetically, and that was when they just disappeared. And I had an experience, I think it was a year ago, where I broke my hand, and I only treated it energetically, and it was within a very short period. It was only a week or two. I'd healed the hand, and then I think it was like from the date that I broke it to maybe 3 weeks, I think, and I was running a chainsaw. So we can heal things so much faster than we believe. It's one of the biggest things with something like that, if I'd believed other people's stories of saying, oh, it's going to take 6 weeks or 6 months or 12 months to heal, if I bought into their story, it would have taken that long. But because I believed that there was a better outcome available, because I'd already learnt that I'd overcome supposedly lifelong illnesses, that I could heal rapidly. And so actually part of that process was I was doing an extended fast, and I also consciously connected to the stem cells in my body to send all of my best healing stem cells to the hand, and I could physically feel it healing by itself. So the more we just work with the energy, everything else is just external confirmation, I guess. So even with, say, something like using plant fertilizer, it's the thoughts that are creating the outcome that are changing the plant. But it's also, like I mentioned with food in one of the previous videos, that I've trained myself to be able to eat whatever I want whenever I want with no reaction, was because I taught myself how to believe whatever I wanted to believe, which was believing in myself, and that there are no such thing as bad foods for me. So it doesn't have the negative impact where, for anyone who watches this, if you eat anything and you have in the back of your mind that that is a bad food, watch and see how your body reacts, because you'll have a physical reaction. You'll feel sluggish and lethargic, or, especially with, things that people would label as like IBS or gluten or whatever. It's, if you change your mindset, you'll have zero issues with it. It is that simple. And I can say that with confidence because I've done it myself. I was labelled with so many of those things, which are all just, they were all just masking the root cause, and the root cause was my own belief system and my emotions as well. Because if I felt it and believed it, then that became a part of my reality. So I stopped believing that food was bad or going to have a negative impact, and it stopped having a negative impact. So if you want a better experience, just really focus on creating a more positive outlook on what it is that you actually do want to experience. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and yeah, like I said, I'll put a link in the description, and I'll upload those videos into the other channel, so I won't be logging in to check that. If anyone leaves comments, I'll be on the other channel. So it's basically, I'll leave it there for anyone who's already come across it, but then, this is the message that you'll find future videos on the other one. Anyway, I hope you have an incredible day.